Welcome to the Delco Nerd Network Hot Takes. You're probably asking yourself, what is exactly a hot take? Well, a hot take is where we sit down in a basement, we give our thoughts, give our opinions on a TV show, a game, or a movie. Today, we're going to be talking about a game, and that game is The Walking Dead Final Season, Episode 1. Here to discuss, of course, as always, Chris Trio.
What's going on, guys? So, how was it? First episode, anyways.
Good.
Good?
Good. Obviously, it's hard to tell where the whole season's going to play out. But I did enjoy the first episode for the last season. So it's 4 episodes.
Okay. Isn't it usually 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one was a little meatier, too. I felt like it was a lot longer than they usually are.
That's good.
Because, like, I got... So there was, like, achievements for acts, and I was like, oh, I just beat Act 1. I'm, like, 2 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
But the other 2 acts weren't as long, but, like, it was, like, maybe, like, a 3-hour episode.
Okay.
Which usually they could be, like, an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Because the only ones I really play... I should preface this. I haven't played this episode. I'm just kind of here to discuss with Gooch. But Batman's, like, they're definitely... They were 5 episodes, right? And they were probably, like, an hour and a half.
And I think there's... I definitely know some seasons. Like, I think Minecraft had a 6-episode season.
Yeah.
And, like, occasional seasons...
What did Borderlands have?
5 each
every
time. Yeah. So, before we jump in... I know you've played some of Telltale's
I played the
Walking
first season.
And that's it?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I might have finished it. I can't remember.
If you're trying to figure out whether you want to jump into this game or not, and you haven't played the other seasons, you should not be playing this final season.
No, yeah, go season 1.
I mean, okay, so the beginning, you kind of get a recap of some choices. You know, I guess if you lost a save or whatever, it recaps some major choices and goes over some other major key points that happens.
Okay.
Especially in Season 1. Season 2, there's like 2 or 3 things that they go over, and you can either pick one or the other. So they're obviously like the choices. But I got to bring over my save. But yeah. Nice. Like, if you don't have that background knowledge of, like, where Clementine is coming from and, like, you know, seasons 1, 2...
So this is the 3rd season, right?
This is the 4th.
Okay.
Like, the 3rd season was called The New Frontier. I don't know why they just didn't call it Season 3.
They did a Michonne one, too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Or was that Telltale? We don't talk about that?
We're not going to talk about that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for bringing it up.
That was, like, really... That was 3 episodes, and that was, like, really bad. It was just like...
So was it part of, like, the show? No. Or was it technically... was it comic-based?
The Telltale universe is a part of the comics.
Yeah.
So this was comic book Michonne, and then we've seen Jesus, who's a character in the comics in the last season, and then Glenn is in the first episode of the first season for a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, it follows... It's in the comic book universe.
I remember I played that first episode, and then he's left. He's like, all right, I'm leaving. I was like, wait, was that Glenn? I didn't, like... I don't know why I didn't make the connection.
Wait, where are you going?
Glenn? Yeah.
So, you know, we're starting off. A lot has happened. Again, it's kind of a lot to cover if you haven't played the season, so... Hopefully,
so what's his name dies in the first season, right? Spoilers, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah, Lee. So you're playing as Clementine, obviously, throughout the rest of the seasons.
For the most part, yeah. In New Frontier, you play as Javier, who's another character, but Clem is also involved in the story in some aspects. Not like everything, but she comes in, and that's how you transition. So let's check up on what Clementine is up to. Well, she's older. Not sure how much older, but old enough.
You think she's like teens, obviously.
14, 15, 16, something like that. Few years has definitely passed between the end of at least 2 years.
Do we know how old she is in the first season?
Does she say? 8.
She's 8?
She's 8 in the first season. But, like, there's no, like, obviously there's no, like...
Actual time. They don't tell you how long it's been or what,
based on how old AJ is, who's the kid she's taking care of, he's 6 at least.
So she's taking care of a kid?
From birth.
What?
So
what does this happen in the second?
A group you're part of, there's a lot of drama. But to put it simply, this couple has a kid. The mother dies right after AJ's born, and the father dies, I think, a little bit before. So none of the parents really meet the kid, and you end up taking care of AJ through circumstances. Kenny's involved in the second season. He comes back. He kind of goes crazy with another character. Shit happens. End of the day, Clementine, as like a 12-year-old girl, is taking care of a baby.
Okay, so she's 12 in the second season, right?
Yes.
So then the baby is 6 right? In this current season, or the kid is 6 in the current.
He
season.
has to be like 5 or 6.
So then you could probably assume that she's at least like 16
because in the last
to 17.
season he's little enough to like walk, but he doesn't.
He can't talk
much.
really. Right? Yeah.
He like kind of whines and like says a few words here and there, so he has to be like 2 or 3 in that.
Interesting.
But it's really hard to like tell.
Yeah, of course. Because I mean, honestly, even if you were in like a zombie apocalypse, I'm pretty sure you're not worried about the dates.
So, yeah. And but I think it's interesting to kind of keep track of all that.
No,
stuff.
I agree. I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you're in that situation, you're not worrying about what day it is. If it's Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, you can hear the clear differences between her voice. Of
course.
Melissa Hutchinson does the voice. Like, it's a clear difference each season.
Yeah. Her
voice, and now she's like just sounds more mature.
Yeah.
Definitely not, 18 or anything, but
like mid-teens,
like bordering
probably
16 or 15.
Yeah.
Has to be. So, Clem is a fucking vet in this world, and AJ is just a fucking mess. This kid,
well, I mean, he's a kid, right? So
yeah, but like you realize like he has no concept of morality or just not being like on his toes, like so the main
he's a child.
He is a child, but like Clem was also a kid, but she was born in the time before, so she had the concept of right,
of what's
happening. And it was a little,
it's different.
Exactly,
totally.
Exactly. Whereas AJ is born into it; he knows nothing. But
he just knows this life.
Yeah. So the season starts out. AJ and Clem are in a car driving, scavenging, going place to place, not really
doing their thing
in a group. There is a time gap between the last season, so we don't know exactly what was going on. We just know that they're alone. They're not with a group currently.
So at the end of the last season, were they with a group?
They leave the New Frontier.
Okay.
So Clem and AJ are just like, hey, like Clem at that point was just like not about being with people, and that kind of changes, I guess, because they get a good opportunity. But like shit went down, so she just left.
Makes sense. So
she thought it'd be safer for AJ. So we pick up. They're scavenging a post. Find out it's booby trapped. She's like, fuck, they get out. They try to get out of the car. Shit's going down. They crash the car. Somebody finds her, and they're in this group. So the group that picks her up, awesome concept, is actually another just entire camp of kids.
Oh.
So the kid leading them has to be around her age, and there's a few older kids. But there's also a lot of little kids. But they live in an abandoned school, and it's all kids. Which I'm just like,
oh, that's cool. It's different. Yeah,
that is definitely
that's not something.
For The Walking Dead.
I assume we haven't seen anything like that on the show. I haven't been up to date.
Nah, not at all. Yeah, and like for the most part, kids are barely involved in the plots at all. Besides Clem and like AJ, considering they're main characters. Like, and there's a Doc in season 1, but like there really haven't been like too many kids. So it's cool to get that perspective.
Yeah,
it's not just the adult perspective where, I don't know, like you feel like the same shit happens in every fucking group.
Yeah, you see these children dealing with it. That's a cool concept. I do think that's interesting.
Like, and everyone kind of looks like disheveled and weird. Also, in regards to the engine, I think it's because all the characters are dirty and bloody and gritty.
Yeah,
it looks a lot better than Batman.
Batman, really?
I think it's because there's a lot more detail in what they're wearing too. Like all their clothes are like disheveled. Like no one really looks
like clean and neat. And, yeah.
So there's a lot more detail on their face between the dirt and the clothes and stuff. So I was just looking at it, and I was like, okay, I don't know if it looks better.
Did you run into any like clipping or anything bad? Because when I was playing Batman, I ran into some bad shit.
So I played on PC, and I didn't come into my game didn't chug
at all.
Not that I noticed.
Okay.
And I'm not going to give it. I'm not going to give it the benefit of the doubt because of that.
Yeah,
because like, everyone knows the Telltale engine is not necessarily the greatest.
And there isn't. I'm sorry, there is no reason that their engine isn't tip top easy. Especially
there's no excuse.
It's
but
ridiculous.
this is the last game in this engine.
Okay,
and then
so that
the Stranger Things game
is going to be in a new engine.
It's going to be in Unity.
Okay, all right. Let's look back. Like, see, one thing I will say about Batman, like. That art style and like that look kind of works for it, only because it's supposed to be based off of a comic book, and I guess Walking Dead is too.
Oh my
so that
God,
kind of
they
works.
do a lot of things differently in this season in this Telltale game that makes it look so much like a comic book. Like if things are like in the background, there'll be this like color shade over everything.
It's like a shade.
And I'm just like, whoa, they've
and
never done that.
Did it work? Yeah. See, that's what the thing. Really they should almost lean into it more rather than try to make it look realistic if you can. But I'm happy to hear that they're doing a new engine for Stranger Things. That should be cool too.
Yeah, yeah. So getting back to the story, so we kind of through some dialogue, we kind of realized that like Clem is not necessarily like a mother figure for AJ, but definitely like an older sister. Like that's the vibe you get through most of it. Like she disciplines him at a few points because once they get in the group, like AJ has like never had contact with other kids. Like some kid sneaks up behind him and he instantly like elbows him in the nuts and like nothing. Like he's just like touch, boom.
Yeah, he's
like
on the
it's an instant reaction, and he just like doesn't understand what he did was wrong. Like, and it's just like, yeah, you don't do that. Like,
and I mean, you have a child teaching a child, and obviously Clem is very mature, I'd assume, for her age, just because of the shit she's gone through. But
yeah, but she's still like
she doesn't know how to take care of a kid. No,
yeah, I mean.
Of course, you have the baseline,
but she's making way.
Of course, no. I'm not saying she's probably not doing a great job, but it's like, yeah, that's definitely like she's a kid who was born into this shit. She grew up. Now she has to take care of another kid. That's a nice foil.
What's interesting about this contrast is like she was the kid in season 1 with Lee.
Yeah.
And then now she has her with AJ.
She's the guardian.
And like the cover for this season was the same as season 1, where like Lee had an axe and was holding Clementine's hand. Now it's Clem with the axe and she's holding AJ's
That's a really cool callback.
So it's kind of like all coming full circle.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a bunch of different kids in this group. Like they've seen some shit. We don't exactly know what. There's some references that there were adults here at some point, but they're gone now. Okay. We don't really know what's going on, even by the end of the season. Obviously,
even by the end of the episode. Yeah.
But like obviously, like something happened. Yeah. Like there's no way. There's no way they
you just find out they killed other adults.
Yeah, like there's no way there's just been a bunch of kids living here this whole time without like adults of some capacity. But this school's like in the middle of the woods. They're secluded. Marlon, who's their leader, kind of tells you that, and he's like, yeah, like we've been definitely getting by, but like it's getting harder and harder. Like obviously, and then like Clem's showing up, like she's a badass in there. Like like they kill some walkers and some stuff, and she kind of like proves to them pretty quick that she's worth their time.
She knows what she's doing. She's battle tested.
Yeah, and a lot of these kids are like it's definitely like a Lord of the Flies kind of scenario.
That's what I was trying to think of what the fucking
like they're not like killing each other, but like they're all like very different.
And is there like a class almost of like you got your leader, and then like everyone else is kind of like,
and then like the second tier, and then third tier, yeah. Interesting. And there's kids of all different ages, and.
So the leader is the oldest one, right?
I would assume,
or you'd assume,
so.
Yeah, that's just how it seems to me.
Yeah. And then there's a few kids I would imagine his age or Clementine's age, and so one of the first things you get to go do is you go out and kill some walkers, and then you go back and eat. And after they're done eating, they kind of like sit down and like play cards with Clem. Like AJ goes away. It's like adult time, and they play this card game where they play War. You know the game War. So like if whoever wins the round would like ask whoever a question, or like the three kids at the school would ask Clem a question, and then
she'd
Clem would ask whoever she wanted. And like of course, you know, this is where she's gonna dump some information about what she's been through, and you know, like one of the questions is like, oh, have you ever had to kill someone? And if you've killed Lee, you can say Lee, and it's just like. And they get so salty real quick.
I'm trying to remember what happened with Lee.
So how does he die again? You have the option to either kill Lee or leave him. And I think.
And why do you have to kill him or leave him?
Because he gets bit.
Okay, that's it.
So you either make him turn or you don't. But like.
Did you kill him?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's no point. Does he want you to kill him, or does he just kind of?
Not necessarily. I forget kind of like what he says, but like he doesn't. I don't know. He basically. Like just tells Clem like this is it.
Yeah.
Like no matter what happens.
Like this is the end. Interesting.
Yeah, and she kind of talks about like how like what one of the things like I think somebody asked her like what one of the things that she was taught that she's like kept on and that's how to say goodbye to people. And yeah, like tons of exposition comes out and these kids kind of like you know whoa she's been through some shit. Like she doesn't go into detail with everything. Yeah. Season 1 stuff is really important. And then some season 2 stuff, especially with AJ. But like one of the first questions that's asked is like, "Who's AJ? Like, who's this kid? Like, clearly,
he's not yours."
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh yeah, his parents died, and
I'm taking care of him."
Yeah. and that there's a bunch of exposition there, and you kind of learn about the characters. One of the kids like kind of likes you.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like an Ezekiel type character. He's black with dreads and he has a coat.
Gotcha.
And then there's the leader, Marlon, is there, and then another girl named Violet, who's kind of like a ragtag, like tough girl kind of persona.
Even tougher than Clem.
Yeah, even tougher than Clem.
So overall, you think this was a great start to the season, though? Like, do you think you enjoyed
It's different.
It's different.
100%. Yeah, I do. I'm enjoying it so far.
It's setting up things you're interested to see.
I'm really just interested to see how it ends.
Too. Yeah.
Not even like the in between. Like, where's
just
this
like where's this gonna happen?
Like this is it.
Where does Clem's story end or set off to what it's just gonna be?
Exactly. Yeah. So the next day, they go to sleep. Yada yada. Oh, one of the big things is AJ. Like they're in a room. And, like, AJ, like, for some reason, like, wants to sleep, like, under the bed. Because, like, I guess that's just what he's used to. And Clem's like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, he's like, oh, if the monsters come in, like, I'm under the bed, like, they won't see me right away. And I can, like, be more alert. And she's just, like, sleep on the bed.
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, leave him there. But, like, one of the choices is, like, to persuade him to sleep on the bed. And but like you like while you're playing, you just realize like how desensitized and how like fucked up AJ is. Not because of his own fault.
It's just how it's the world he was in. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so different. Like
interesting.
She says a few things to AJ throughout the season. Like they in the beginning when they're raiding that outpost, or not outpost, but it's like a gas station thing. I was telling you about that. The walkers, there was traps. So there was food. They found food, and like a grenade trap went off of it, and that's kind of what made all the walkers come in. Yeah. But before they go in, she like kneels down to him, and I forget exactly what she asks, but she says something about like the bullets in his gun, and it's like you have a few options, and I forget. It sucks. I forget exactly what she says, but she's like and the answer is, I think, like, what do you do, like, with your last bullet or something? Or, like, what do you... and it's, like, save the bullet for yourself.
Yeah.
And that will come back.
Jesus.
At the end.
At the end of the episode?
Yeah. So, clearly, he's ready to kill himself if he has to. And, like, yeah, Clem has, like, clearly prepped him
like
for
this
stuff.
Is, yeah.
And, like, he knows what he's doing. He knows how to use a gun.
He realizes what's happening, yeah.
He gets in the camp and or the school with the kids, and he has a gun at some point, and one of the kids is like, "Whoa, what is he doing with that?" And she's like, "He knows how to use it." Yeah, and he's like loading it, and like he's like a little bit too good with this gun. And he also like bites another kid because she tried. I forget what she does.
Lots of sociopaths being
raised
in this.
She gets like close to him, and like he like gets nervous.
Yeah.
So he like bites her. And she, like, gets mad, and you find that out, like, while you're looking for AJ, like, after you wake up. Because you got, like, a head injury, and you're in bed, and you're like, where am I?
Like, what happened?
Where's AJ? And then you find him, and he's playing music with some kid, and you get exposition with that kid. Yeah, so the next day, you get an option of either going fishing with these kids or going hunting. I chose to go hunting, and I think the same thing happens. No matter what you do, there's just some exposition with some different characters, but
they all converge to the same point.
So, you found out some food was stolen from the fishing post, and Marlon doesn't like people going outside the safe zone he has set up, and you kind of bring it upon yourself to be like, hey, like, we need food, like, we should just go out there and see what we can find. Like, fuck it.
Of course.
Like our food was stolen, or it's like something happened here.
Yeah.
We need to go. We need to
restock. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get something. Like, it's an emergency. Like, they're running low on food. That's kind of the big thing right now, because their safe zone has gotten smaller and smaller, so they're not going farther out. They're not hunting as farther. There's not as many animals.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the big premise, is they don't have a lot of food.
Yeah.
Not necessarily
resource. Yeah.
Walkers don't seem to be the issue. They have a lot of traps outside.
It's just resources. They don't have enough to survive. Literally.
Yeah. So you go out. You go back to that the train station. Hey, Clem was like, hey, listen, like, there was food there. Like, even though like it blew up, there's got to be something left. So they go there. They're getting food with AJ. AJ goes on the crawl space looking for food. This dude just comes in, shows up.
Like an alive dude?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And gun in Clem's face, and he's like very calm, not like super like in her face, but like it's it's one of those like
tense moments,
tense, silent, like not yelling, like it's not escalated.
It's just you're just looking at their stares.
But like he's like, I just want some food and I'm gonna leave. That's it. But it's like I want food. Like he wants
Yeah.
He's not gonna kill her, but like he definitely would.
Yeah. If it needed.
And
to.
then AJ comes up and he's like.
Freaking out, yeah.
Like not like doesn't like freak out, but like he's ready to kill. Like this kid is ready to fuck him up. This guy's days up. And like I talked him down. I was like, don't do it. I'm like, don't do it.
Yeah,
like,
it's not worth it. Yeah.
Of course you go for the gun, you push it up, he shoots, and all the walkers come. I've seen this before.
No. Okay.
So I let him take the food, and he gets out. And then we leave. So I let him take the food.
Yeah.
And one of the...
So he took all the food? Did you?
Not all of it, just a bag. So we got some.
Yeah.
But we didn't get, I guess, you can
get
one
all
of the
of it,
choices
I guess,
is you cannot let him take food, which I was in the minority of letting him do it. So you get back and kind of explain the situation to Marlon. And one of the girls named Brody, she's like, wait, you saw somebody? Like clearly, like, she's distressed enough to know that, like, something's up.
Yeah.
Like, she knows something.
Yeah.
And she's like, fuck. Okay, like, what do we do?
Freaking out.
Like that. Like, she's freaking out. Like, she knows something, clearly. So, you guys, you have a good meal, but time for bed. Go to bed. And Clem wakes up in the middle of the night. She's here, she's yelling. So, my first instinct was the guy came to this place, and he's talking to Brody, because Brody clearly knows something.
Yeah.
Make your way outside, make your way downstairs, because it's coming through the pipes in the basement. So you go in the basement, and you find out it's Marlon yelling at Brody. They're having, like, an argument.
Yeah.
And you find out that whoever this dude knows this camp. And you find out during the episode that 2 girls last year died from a walker. That's what you're told. And her brother is still alive there, and he that is the story.
That's the story of what happened.
You find out that Marlon traded these 2 girls to this guy for like safety. You found out that they had to have been younger than him. So I don't know if it was for slavery or
you don't even know what
he traded them for, but like they died. I would assume,
or they're just you assume that they're dead, or that they're being treated badly somewhere, or you just
you really don't.
You don't know.
I really don't know how they know that they're dead.
I'd assume that they assume that they're just dead.
Yeah,
because
I don't know, but I don't know what proof they have that they are.
Exactly. I guess exactly. So they might just have assumed that they got killed by this guy for some reason.
Yeah. So we don't know what kind of group he's with or how big.
So did he look? Did he just look like a regular dude in clothes? Like
he has 2 different eye colors.
Oh,
that was one of the big things, distinguishing factors for this guy. And
how do you even do that?
You can be born with 2 different eyes.
No, not that. Giving up the 2 girls, then the other 2 people thought
they just.
So did they actually know that they were given away, the brother, or they actually just thought they were dead?
Brody and Marlon were the only 2 who knew.
Yeah.
The brother didn't know. Everyone got the cover story of they were killed by walkers.
Jeez.
And you find out some people, Violet and Lewis, the black kid who I said looked like Ezekiel, they kind of are on edge from it because he's like, yeah, it's been almost a year, the memories.
We gave him up and we were like, maybe not a great idea. Yeah, I feel a little guilty for selling 2 people off to
slavery.
But
you find out Marlon is a little bit unhinged. Everything's fucking great up until this point. And when that happens, shit's about to go down. This is The Walking Dead. Brody's like, we gotta tell Clem, and Marlon's like, no, don't fucking tell her. Like, no.
So then you're overhearing this, is the idea.
Well, you go down and confront them, and then
of course
Brody wants to tell Clementine, because obviously she knows something's up.
Yeah.
And Marlon kind of she says something, and Marlon freaks out and picks or has a flashlight and slams her over the head with it. And
Clem?
No, Marlon.
Oh, so Marlon's a chick?
Marlon's a guy.
And then who's the other one?
Brody's a girl.
Okay, I was confused.
So Marlon, the leader of the group, picks up he has his flashlight in his hand and smashes her in the head with it, and it kills her. It doesn't kill her instantly, but the blow is right to her skull.
She's got some blood. Yeah.
And then Marlon is freaking out. He just killed her. Didn't mean to do it. Oh my god, I didn't mean to do it.
What did I
do? Yeah. Those kind of situations. And then he pushes Clem, runs out, locks her in. So she's gonna turn down there with her. That's the and then you obviously
I'd smash her head in with something before she
doesn't have a weapon.
There's no. Where is she in a basement?
She's in a there's not much in there. Obviously, like she does smash her. She does literally smash her face in.
Yeah, I mean, kick her face. Sorry,
but, like,
that's
but
terrible.
Also she turns really fucking fast.
Yeah,
like I'm just like. It's been like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's like
there's no way.
Should there be at least like 10 minutes? I don't know.
I think it takes like an hour.
That's what I thought. Wasn't it like
in The Walking Dead? Like sometimes like
not immediate as you die.
It's not super immediate. No, like you die and like you're out.
There's like at least half an hour.
Like in the first season of The Walking Dead, when Andrea's sister dies, it takes like an entire night for her to turn.
Yeah.
And then she blows her head, sprains out in the morning. But yeah, it literally takes her an entire night. And so I don't know. I don't know this.
That was just for plot's sake. Yeah, they had to do.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
But she gets out, and of course, all the kids are outside. It's pouring rain. Marlon's like blood on his face from hitting her over the face, and he's telling you, "Oh, Clem killed Brody." Yeah. She did it.
Yeah, it was her. It was her.
Yeah. Immediately pointing fingers. You're going out. You got blood on your hand. So like, it doesn't look good. You're like, you confront Marlon, like, you killed Brody, and like, why don't you tell them about the fact that I think it's
the two girls,
Susan and Minnie, I think the other girls, and like, why don't you tell them that you like sold them to these raiders for safety, and like, and they're like, everyone's like, what? And of course, that's the shifting point. Yeah. And then he kind of he doesn't like cave in just yet, but. You can either, based on your relationships with either Violet or Lewis, you can pick one of them to have your back. Lewis is Marlon's like best friend, and Violet opens up to you at one point, and so there's room for both of them to be. So I picked Lewis just because he liked me, and I was just like, I feel like I
can use this. Yeah.
I didn't when you go hunting, he's with you, and
you can kind of hint towards it. I
helped this one kid out rather than him, but I'm just like, nah, you still like me, you're funny. So I ended up he went against Marlon, and he's like, trying to calm him down. He stole AJ's out there, stole AJ's gun, which apparently, wait, he has some gun. What gun does he have?
Just a pistol.
Is it AJ's gun? Oh, it is AJ's gun. Okay. Because he drops it.
Yeah.
And I'll get into it. So, they're arguing, and you kind of, you win the argument. Like, it's, the truth's out. Marlon is, like, he's just like, basically, what do you want to do with me? And you have a few options. He just wants to leave, which is like, that's not a good idea. Why would you let anyone leave?
Fuck
know they're going to come back.
Yeah.
Like, where he's going to go to these people. I've seen The Walking Dead before.
Yeah, are you dumb?
And so you get 3 choices: prisoner,
kill him, prisoner, or
assimilate into the the group, just not be the leader, or let him leave. No matter what you choose, headshot. Who has the gun? AJ. He picks it up off the ground and blows his head clean out, not off.
Yeah.
Like
his
bullet
brains
right
are
through
out
his head.
the
He
head,
goes, "What? I saved one for myself," and you're like, "Oh my God, he's so fucked up. He has no sense of morality."
Well, no, and that's like that brings it back to one of my favorite episodes of the entire Walking Dead was when the chick, it's when they're in the prison, or no, it's Terminus, which I hate that season, but Lizzie or what's her name with the kids, Carol. And like she kills her sister. To try and prove that like they're all cool and and all that, and then she just takes her out to the past.
Dude, but AJ is like clearly not like disturbed. He just doesn't know.
He doesn't understand. Yeah, but, like, he thinks that he sees
and everyone's just like in awe right now. Like, everyone's
in shock.
Like, mouth on the ground, and he's like, "What? I saved one for myself." Like that's
what he was worried. Yeah. Well, I guess he sees her, and I mean. It does make sense for what you've described his character as. He's been taught, like, you've got to survive. You see this guy killed someone.
Yeah.
You know he's a threat.
And I don't know if they've been with a group. Like, obviously AJ was young when they were with the New Frontier, but, like, I don't think he was old enough to maybe, recollect that.
Interesting. That sounds pretty cool. Actually, it really does. It sounds interesting as hell.
Where this is going to go, I don't know. Obviously, Clementine's going to be the leader of these kids, just like, in every game when you come a new group and then you prove yourself.
You just shit all over everyone and then take it. All right, you suck, he really sucks, I'm the leader.
It's been an hour and a half.
I think I've been good. I dubbed myself.
I'm interested to see where this is going to go. Like, I thought the relationship between Clementine and AJ and then the two of them with the rest of the kids at the school is interesting. And,
So does it like just cut to black right after that, or do you see
after he says that line? That's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we don't know. Like, I kind of hope they don't play this group up to be this big bad too much, because one thing about The Walking Dead is like it's just like conflict with like other groups. It's
that's why I stopped watching The Walking Dead. It just becomes cyclical. They get to a spot, they get safe for a while, they find an enemy, that enemy destroys their home spot, so they have to move to a new spot that's safe again.
Something happens, conflict, kill them.
Yeah.
Save point,
have to move again.
Save period, peace.
It's just, it's just a circle. It's like a circle.
I mean, they don't do it a bunch. I mean, like, okay, in the first season of The Walking Dead, it's not, you don't go against a group.
No,
you're truly out to survive and just kind of get to Savannah and find safety, because, the apocalypse is pretty new at this point.
Yeah.
Season 2 is definitely group against group, and season 3 is definitely group against group. And this season, hopefully it doesn't go that route exactly. Like, obviously, I would enjoy if the group was like
more of the central,
for maybe an episode or two, and maybe you
or not even or even just a conflict within the group, because I feel like there's probably definitely going to be a conflict about what to do with AJ after that. But besides, or even just how to treat it, like not even. That's what I'm saying. Not even but how do you I guess how to remedy his perceptions and stuff like that. But that's the only you can't obviously you can't. It's not. It is his fault, but it's not his fault.
So I don't know up until this point if he's actually killed a person.
Just before that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, we'll assume maybe he has.
Interesting.
I guess you can assume that.
Sounds crazy, man.
Yeah.
It sounds insane.
But I'm gonna go over some of the choices that we had. There wasn't too many. Not, it's the first episode. There's nothing like crazy going on. It's not like episode 5 of Batman. I'm gonna skip over that.
Yeah, so, episode 5, that was like a fuck.
So the choice between going hunting with Lewis or Asim, or going fishing with Violet Brody, 48 for the hunting, 52 for the fishing. It's like split. 66% of players convince AJ to go to his bed, while 34% of these motherfuckers let him sleep on the ground. What a bunch of
pieces of shit.
You and 31% of players left AJ feeling ruthless. And somewhat others, I don't know how he could not feel ruthless after that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You shot a guy in the head, for fuck's sake.
You and 22% of players surrendered the food to Abel. And the only time he's named is in this last choice slide. You don't know his name, and they just call him Abel, so okay. 78% of players attacked him. 34% of players turned Lewis help fight against Marlon. So I was in the minority. 66% of players turned against Violet. And it's kind of funny. Violet is really, sort of aggressive towards you in the beginning.
But then she starts to warm up.
Yeah. Because, she opens up to you at a point. She's like, there's not a lot of girls here. It's really bro-y. So, it's nice.
Sausage fest.
So, when Susie and Minnie died, that hit her hard.
So she's the only chick there that was there.
There's, 2 other girls.
So, but besides, how big's the group? Like 10, 15 people?
15, I'd say. So Susie and Minnie's brother's name is Tennessee. They call him 10. He felt helpless. 22%. I don't know what else could be different about that. I'm sitting here and I'm like, why are my percentages so low?
So low, yeah.
You and 34% of players left Violet horrified. Brody's dead. Marlon's dead. I don't think you can keep them alive. You and 34% of players left Lewis feeling lost. Obviously, he just watched his best friend die, and you pitted him against him. And then it tells you updates with some kids. Oh, there is a dog. They do have a dog.
Good. There wasn't a dog.
Yeah, so there's a few other kids that you interact with. But that's pretty much it. Obviously, not super plot driving. It's not the end of the season.
No, but I mean, it sounds really interesting. It sounds like it's setting up a pretty cool conflict in the way of just how Clem's going to handle the situation.
The vibe is different.
Yeah.
And it's really all about how this is gonna wrap up, man. I think this is the end of an era. Let's get serious here. The Walking Dead season 1 was
that started their
huge
Telltale.
Game changer for Telltale, for the video game industry and this episodic storytelling genre.
100%.
And seeing it end is really nice. It's not taking the route of the show. We're just gonna keep going. It's nice that Telltale's hey, we're gonna solidify and end it. This is gonna be the final season, and we're acting like it. Rather than, are we going to...
Oh, well, maybe we'll come back for another one.
Are we going to get Tales from the Borderlands Season 2? It doesn't look like it. Game of Thrones isn't going to happen. This is the first cat.
I'm actually curious to see if they'll even do a third Batman season. I mean, I feel like they probably will.
Oh, 100%.
But I think they could easily leave that where it's at, and I'll be satisfied.
this is the strongest. I think Walking Dead season 1. I'll talk as besides Michonne. Brush that aside.
Don't worry about that.
The Walking Dead, I think, is the strongest series Telltale has. One, because season 1 is just the highest point of everything they've ever done. Is the pinnacle of like storytelling, in my opinion. One game of the year. It proved itself when it first came out, and I think the subsequent seasons have been good. Not as good as the first season. Obviously, it's hard to beat.
Of course.
Even for the original Walking Dead.
Sure.
That first season is fantastic.
Well, even you see the returns with Batman. I love that first season. Second season, I loved it. I liked it, I should say, but I didn't love it much as I loved the first season for Batman.
I think that I like the second season better.
Really?
I think I love some, not the payoffs, but like...
It's a whole separate podcast, but I just liked how different
we did.
We did. You can go back and look at it.
We did review it.
I just liked how many liberties they took with Batman in the first season versus the second season. It felt more, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but more comic Batman we know from that second season.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one was very different.
And... The Walking Dead, not that it doesn't feel like a comic book, but, I mean, it does, but, it's definitely its own thing. I don't think it never tries to take from the show or anything.
Which is good, and that's, we see the faults I think the biggest fault with Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series was that
I heard nothing about, still haven't played it.
They didn't go different enough. Like, it's just, it looks like the same Star-Lord, the same Gamora, the same everything, but it's different voice actors and it's supposed to be this different world. No, make him look like
against Thanos.
Make him look like the Star-Lord from the comics, and then give him a different voice actor. Don't have Thanos be in it. Like, go different. And that's, again, you see Penguin in the first season of Batman, you're like, who is this? And he's like, oh, Oswald, what's up? And you're like, wait, this is the fucking
he's a
Penguin,
young dude,
and he looks good, and he's all kept up. Like, I was like, that's cool. Like, do that more with your shit.
Yeah.
But it seems like they honestly do have more of a liberty to do that with The Walking Dead, considering I don't know that as well.
And they're also writing their own original story within Kirkman's comic book universe.
Interesting.
So besides Jesus coming in for a little bit and Glenn.
Yeah.
And Michonne's thing.
So I get
That's it. Yeah, that's all they've connected. They're not. I don't even know actually where the fuck they are.
So I saw a commercial for confused me. I don't know what Overkill is The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
What is that going to be? Is it going to be like an action shooter or like what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's leaning towards like Left 4 Dead like.
Okay.
And I saw some.
I mean, it looks interesting.
Well, I linked the trailers in the group chat before, like some of the cinematic trailers.
I saw the
but then the gameplay is. I was like, oh.
Oh, is the gameplay shitty? I haven't seen the gameplay.
Look good.
All right, well then, I like the vignette, like story things that they put out.
It just doesn't seem to be story driven. It seems to be just like, oh, killing walkers.
Go kill some zombies. Yeah.
Great. But hopefully, I would love to come back and review the final episode and
do the whole thing as a season.
Yeah,
as a whole.
This series, the era. That comes. So they did release the entire release schedule. Next month we're gonna get an episode. October we'll get an episode. November we'll get an episode,
so
and then
each
final episode we'll get
January,
December.
Oh, December. Yeah.
So so I was thinking about we review it for January because December will probably be another game that comes out.
Yeah,
and Kingdom Hearts is in January, but it's not till the very end.
December I'll probably want to do October, November we gotta do Red Dead.
Yeah, November Red Dead.
Okay.
Yeah, so. While we're talking about it, next month we're going to be reviewing Spider-Man.
Cannot.
We're definitely going to try to get some more guests on. I know we've been
a little lacking.
Light. Obviously, the summer, not much is either coming out or just going on. Do. We tried to find somebody who played this, from the people I know, but. We had to make
unfortunately
a call.
couldn't. Yeah.
But, we did it with the Overwatch League, and we, this is kind of a new format of podcast where Trio just kind of adds to my review or whatever.
Yeah, and I think we could definitely use this even for other stuff, too, so it's nice.
Yeah, so October, we're going to be reviewing probably Tomb Raider now that Spyro's fucking delayed.
Yeah, that really sucks, man. I was
Dude,
so
it's 3
pumped.
games.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
Wait. Wasn't Crash delayed?
I don't know.
Pretty sure Crash was delayed.
It might have been. I just don't know. That really sucks. But Spider-Man next month, I cannot fucking wait.
So, and then November would be Red Dead 2. And December, I guess, would be either... Maybe Fallout 76.
October, movie-wise, is Venom.
Yeah.
December is Aquaman.
Yeah.
And then next month, I don't know. But there's definitely movies coming out. So we can figure something out. But yeah, we're figuring out. We missed the update post for this month, sadly. But I think it's just because we weren't very.
I think we're going to be reviewing Unbreakable next week. I think.
Oh yeah, does that come out? next. Does it come out this month?
What?
Unbreakable? Oh, I'm thinking Glass. Fuck it. No. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because we nothing's coming out, and we just don't know what to do.
So we thought, do a little throwback.
I've never seen Unbreakable.
I've seen it in parts, so I'm excited to actually watch it the whole way through. And I mean, hey, I loved Split. Glass looks cool. Thought it would be a nice lead up for what we got going on.
Yeah.
But does that about wrap us up, Gooch?
That about wraps us up, Trio.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much for watching. If you're on Twitch, we appreciate you watching live with us. You can find us on Facebook.com/Delco Nerd Network, as well as YouTube.com/Delco Nerd Network, on Twitter and Instagram @Delco Nerds. You can find this in audio format on Apple Podcasts, as well as Google Play. Thank you guys so much for watching. For Gooch, I've been Trio, and we'll see you next time. Stay nerdy.